So for a young 30-something progressive young black person, or move up in the city right now, you'll benefit a lot.
Right.
A young person, 30-something, and it's struggle because you got a couple kids and things went wrong and now you living. It's tough right now because it's not set for you. It's not set for people who they say didn't go get it, but they did go get it. And they are trying to get it. And the fact that I hear people to say they just don't want it bad enough, that's, to me, that's the most ignorant thing I can ever hear. Everybody wants it. They don't know how to get it. And then fear, because of I don't know how to get it, will drive people to do things that you wouldn't do.
Right.
Like I'm talking to my dad today, and he said, you know, your niece, man, she did this and she went and got hers. I said, yeah. And then someone else they can do it too. I said, yeah. I said, my niece is different. My niece cut different. So yeah, she can do it.
Right.
I said, you can't put that weight on everybody. People going to need help. People going to need assistance. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can do it.
Yes and no.
Yes, you can do it.
Yes.
But don't you have to have a mentor or something?
You do, but
That's what I mean.
But at the same time, I didn't have a mentor.
Right.
I mean, you know,
but you got one now.
This is definitely
right. And it's helping you out, right? That's what,
for sure.
That's what I mean.
This is highlighting you, but I had to. I mean, some stuff I just had to figure out the hard way, and sometimes the hard way was behind bars.
Yes.
You know, so
yes.
So it's. I think it's what you do with the opportunities, which may be tragedy to some other people, but it may be a time where you get to sit down and you get to say, okay, well, I read this book, this made sense. Oh, that guy's just like me. He come from where I come from. He should be able to do that. I've seen this person do this. So I think what it is we live where we have these in our pockets, right? And there's so much information on here that you just have to seek out, and people still won't do that, but they can figure out how to buy something. They can figure out how to get their favorite food. They can figure out how to travel to their favorite place, but they can't figure out how to be successful in life.
Yeah, they won't put the work in. And
so when your dad says that, to a certain extent, you got to agree, because life is going to get you're going to get the lessons of life. Yeah. Like what did they say? The school of life.
The school of the hard knocks.
Right. You're going to get that.
Yes. And you should.
And you're going to have to pay the price in certain places. So I truly believe that some people are leaving money on the table. Yeah. No, for lack of a better term.
All right.
You know,
I'm teaching middle school, right?
Right.
And I know these kids, I know some kids are going to be difficult because they're making bad choices. And he said, well, your life is going to be based on the quality of your choices. I said, well, what if you don't know how to make good choices? He turned around, looked at me, and he said, well, good luck with that.
What they say, a hard head make a soft bottom?
It does.
And sometimes, but eventually,
you should get it.
Eventually, there's a point where you say, I need change, right? Like, I have all these books here because I believe in forever being a learner.
That's right.
Right? Like, you have to continually educate yourself. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Absolutely. Right? When you worked at BET, you didn't know how to do certain things, but you still networked and figured out how to maneuver, right? Like, there was a point in your life, like you were even talking about, being in that dark room and just asking God for help and guidance, right?
That's right.
There's something that has to take place sometimes for people, and I believe it's things that we often try to keep people from. And
yes,
you just got to go through some of them circumstances. So with kids, I think you can educate them as much as you can.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I grew up in Anne Arundel County. I got expelled from elementary school.
That sounds like Anne Arundel.
Right? Like, how does that? But, you know, I got kept back the grade because I was supposed to skip a grade, and I got kept back a grade because of my behavior.
Gotcha.
So the intellect was always there. There were just other things that were going on.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
You talk about behavioral coaching or
I used to be a behavioral specialist and that's like the DMR room at a middle school.
Me and one of the other guests were having a conversation about diet.
Yep.
And we believe that some of the diet for our kids
oh my gosh,
is what is actually causing the ADHD. It's not necessarily that these kids are a problem, but it's what's available to them and what they're eating.
All right. I can fully speak on the kids I deal with, right? Not just only the pocket I deal with, but looking at a school system of kids. And I look at, you could just go around and look at the kids' lunches who break open the little bags of celery and all of that. And it's like the corny lunch, right?
Right.
Oh, you got the corny lunch. And we all laughing and joking. And I'm like, I kind of want one of them pieces. Low key, right?
Right.
So all that's happening. And then he does have straight A's. But along with that, that's learned behavior, right? So that's taught at home.
Okay.
So I believe the food is a byproduct to get you there. But you won't know about what food unless the roots tell you. So when you're at home, your worldview that's your biggest worldview, your house, right? That's your first one. So you believe in what they're saying because you're 2, you're 3, you're 4, you're 5. So you have to believe that. That's all you hear. If they're not serving vegetables, that's foreign to you.
Right. So
now you're not getting those things. You're not getting the balanced meal that, and you notice that my generation, we got them. You know why we got them? The jokers was on the cartoons on Saturdays. They was talking about a hunk of cheese and all of that stuff, man. All of that, man. They talked about information.
Right.
They were teaching you. So if you didn't get it from home, now you see that, Mommy, why don't we have cauliflower?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So it raises different kind of questions. And if you're eating Big Mamas smushed with some Takis,
right. You really are into what these kids eating.
Like, see, that's the thing. Like,
right.
I am who I am. And I comfortably say what I say because I'm in there with them.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying I'm right what I'm saying.
Right.
I said I was comfortable with saying it because this is what I see, right? And all of them, I see the kids who get the well balance. They telling you when you don't watch them, they're looking at the unbalanced like, I really want that. I'll come past. You don't.
Right.
You really don't.
Nah.
Go back and get your well balance. And when you older, you can have a cheat night.
Right.
But don't go to the unbalanced right now.
Right.
It will change your lifestyle. And not because unbalanced, it's not that you don't get vegetables because your parents forgot.
Right.
It never existed in that house because it's not a priority for feeding. I got to feed this many kids. I got to do this and I got to do it in that amount of time.
We can give all of them spaghetti.
Yes. Extra meatballs if we got to chop up some hot dogs. Or whatever was left in the refrigerator.
Right. Exactly.
Right? A gumbo.
Right.
You eating gumbo before you knew what gumbo was.
Right.
You know? And then you go to school and you're up all night because you got to watch a little something because your mom got to work. Let's go into productive homes, right? Let's go into the productive challenge homes. I'm not going into the really fractured ones.
Right.
Mom has to work 2 jobs because Pops ain't there. So Mom got to work. So whoever's the oldest.
Got to watch their little siblings.
Got to. You got to feed them. So now you 12 years old. You know how to run a daycare. You hear that? You're 12 years old. You have a skill set.
Right.
But because it's so fast, and when you're in a survival mode, you don't have a second to plan. If you're attacking, or under attack, you don't have time to write out a plan.
Right.
You have to address right now.
Right.
So you can't make it. It's hard. That's what I mean. Like, not that you as a person can't do it.
Right.
But what if you wake up, and you remember I said earlier, the school system didn't fail me, I failed it. Well, what if you wake up and in your eyes, you see the school system failed in your house.
Right.
No one graduated. And then you go out in your neighborhood where it ain't no grass, it's just dirt and the patches of grass, concrete, and the trash cans everywhere. They just stink and pissy diapers everywhere. Right. Education ain't work here. Nothing worked here. And the best I can do as a man, because it ain't too many men our age in those neighborhoods because we're not allowed to live there. 2 adults can't be there.
Right.
Who's going to leave? So I'm gone, and the man you do see is popping willies with a wife beat on a bicycle, right? And I know I'm stereotyping
Right.
but I'm not lying.
But you paint the picture that everyone has seen before,
right? That we seen, right? So now I'm this kid, and even if on the way to school, on the way to the bus stop, I see some god awful stuff, and then I get to class. As soon as I get off the bus, little so and so, I don't feel like having that day from you like I did yesterday.
Right.
And then your response is, after you woke up to that chaos at home, and you cursing.
Right.
Now you sent to the office at 7:45. School don't start to 8.
Right. Right.
So it's frustration. So then that kid quits. It's natural that after a while, if you can't do anything and you're doing your best that you will quit. It can be natural.
Yeah.
And not that it's good, but it's almost like it's like that breaking point, right? What do you do? So now you got that kid, and so many of them just said, freak it. If this is how it's going to be, I'm going this way.
Well, it's a conditioning thing, too, because I remember, kind of growing up in a situation like that, not necessarily all of those aspects of it, but, being troubled, going through things. And then I saw myself as I got older, one of the common thing, and it was funny amongst the women I dated, was you never finish anything. So whenever anything would get tough,
you rolled out.
I would quit. And, I had to take a hard look at that. And obviously, things have changed now, but when you talk about it that way, it kind of just makes it full circle for me, because you don't see it, but a lot of things are ingrained in us from being young, even poor eating habits and things of that nature. So, you started community transitions, right? And I just want to read your vision for community transitions.
All right.
Our vision is for the youth and their families to experience the unmeasurable greatness of life's opportunities and all that's available when we pursue our dreams. Such a profound, empowering vision for your company. And is that brought on by all of these things that you highlighted? And is that what came to you and you were like, what can I do to make a change?
I heard you read that, and I wrote that, right? And I created that, and I wrote that.
Right.
My wife said, you have to write a mission. My wife went and got a double master's in nonprofit to run my nonprofit, right?
Let's give it a round of applause for that.
Yes, indeed. Clap up the Reen Starks. Yes, indeed. I'm sorry. Shameless plug, but I'm telling you, 20 years, man. It's real, right?
Oh, 20 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Hey,
man. But nah, like she said, I'm the guy who go out in the woods and hunt.
Right.
I hunt. I do that.
Right.
She is the business, right? She's like, you got to be this tight. It got to be this because you're dealing with the IRS. You're dealing with.
I love that, man. Yeah, I love that for you.
Yeah. So do I. Keeps me out of a lot of bad situations. You talk about some situations, right? It could be some situations. Real quick, 2 of my first gigs came because the other companies they were looking at were not in good standards. Keep your stuff up, man. I'm not boasting and bragging. I'm saying it's hard.
It is.
It's hard.
Yes, it is.
It's hard.
They tell you start LLC, but they don't tell you get them lawyers, get consultations if you can, get information because they will come after you. They haven't came after me. I ain't been doing this that long, but I've heard the horror stories. Yeah. So I understand. You just got to be legit. Yes, sir.
So what happened is, with that vision, you're absolutely right. That is it. That is what I principally believe. I fundamentally believe that. I believe anything is possible. Kevin Garnett yelled, anything is possible,
Right.
and screamed it.
Right.
You see a grown man win, and you see his childhood self come out
Yes.
because he didn't believe it was possible until he did it.
Did it. Yeah.
Then he yelled, at that moment, anything's possible. Watch this. This is what I've been learning, man. David. They brought David and Goliath, right?
Mm-hmm.
David knew he could beat the Goliath. His simple words were, I know I can beat him. They came, he said, what, a wolf or whatever, a bear came for my sheep and my goats where I was tending the Lord's, and I beat them. They came for this, I beat them. Surely I can beat that. All he said was, I accomplished this.
Right.
I accomplished that.
Right.
Surely I can accomplish that.
Right. It's a stack of evidence.
It's a stack of evidence. And if you don't try, if you're afraid to fail, then you can't succeed. I don't know any one-hit wonders. I know people who've been working and then it hit. They've been grinding. They've been busting their butt behind the scenes, doing their work on a hardcore level, not making any money doing it. And then all of a sudden, it was their turn.
It pops.
It
right.
pops.
Yeah.
Oh man, he came from out of nowhere.
Nah. You didn't see 2012.
You didn't see that. You didn't see him living out the truck. You
Right.
You didn't see him wearing that same sweatsuit every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't see me in that same Sergio Tacchini sweatsuit back in the day in '89, right? You didn't see that.
Right.
So I just fundamentally believe, and then it's like almost if you follow your dreams, anything can happen.
Yeah, I have a belief that your dreams want to come true. They're just waiting on you.
They're waiting on you.
Yeah, I truly believe that.
Yeah, I'm talking. I'm at AHI. Shout out, and I'm working with a group of my kids, Hood to Good kids. And I said, kids are all going to be a junior. What would you do if you can ideally leave school your way in 12th grade? Every dream you thought can come true. First of all, none of them had that. None of them was like, oh, then man, I would.
Right.
You can't even dream it.
Wow.
You hear me?
Wow. Yeah.
You hear how deep that is, right?
Yeah, that is.
Then he said, and that's why this is why I'm here. This is why God put me here, for real. He said, I would like to play basketball and go to college. Dude can ball.
Right.
I mean, this dude is a baller.
Right.
No joke. And then said, and if that doesn't work, I'll go do something else. I'll be and I was like, you already preparing to fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine preparing to fail harder than you prepare to succeed. You're already ready.
Yeah.
How in the world do you have a chance if you don't believe you can? So this is what I told him. I said, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to cut you off. I said, Slim, don't you start as a sophomore on the varsity team? He said, yes. I said, aren't you the starting quarterback for varsity on the football team? He said, yes. I said, then you're definitely going to play sports in college.
Right.
That's a given. You should be choosing where you want to go now.
Right.
I said, next, if you ever tiptoe on a dream, you lose.